How are you today? It's a beautiful weather out. I trust it is the same where you are. Today we're going to be talking yokes, all right? Yokes. What are yokes essentially? Yokes are your necklines when you make necklines for your crochet garments. So your yoke could either be a V yoke, could be a square yoke, right? Could also be a rectangle yoke. It could be an oval yoke, right? It could be an oval yoke, and then finally it could be a round yoke. All right. So how do you achieve these? All of these different yokes have their different approaches, because different approaches to increases, because essentially increases are what create these yokes, increases in the stitches that you put in each row. All right. So let's say I'm going to start out with the square yoke. All right. Now, as you can see, these are corners. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. And essentially, these corners require increases at the corners. Every corner you see will require an increase. The corners here will require an increase. This place right here that looks like a corner, of course, there will be increases inserted there. The only one that may not need and that will not need particular corners, there is no corner in a circle, so the circle will require even increases. So like I said, we're starting with the square. So if you're going to be having increases at the corner, let's say you have your last set of 3 stitches here. I'm going to be using the granny style, the granny stitch style. So you have 3 stitches there. It means you're going to be having the last stitch will be coming out of here. This is how it will be. So you'll have another, you skip a stitch, right? There'll be a chain there, another 3 stitches, a chain there, 3 stitches, a chain there, last 3 stitches, for example, right? And then the first 3 stitches on this side, a chain there, 3 stitches. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 sets, a chain there, 3 stitches, a chain there, then the last 3 stitches there, the first set right here, chain. Because it is a square, whatever number of stitches that are here have to mirror whatever number of stitches are on all of the sides. Okay, so you have your 3 stitches chain, 3 stitches chain, and then the last 3 stitches right here. From that last stitch, realize that the corner stitches are going to be having more than 1 stitch inserted into them. Okay, so this is what you have essentially. So 4 clusters of 3 double crochet stitches. So let me work that out and let us see. Okay, so now realize that this is going to be like row 1. So this, like I like to start my drawing with the first row so that I can use that to determine how many stitches I have in the foundation. So from this we see that we have, this is the same stitch, this and that are coming out of the same stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, and 56. So altogether here I have 56 stitches for the square. So let's work that out and see. All right, so I pick up yarn and I'm going to chain 56. So yeah, I'm going to be doing this off camera so you can work yours out, and then we'll meet up here when we have 56. So we see here that I have my 56 stitches, right? What I'm going to do next is, because I'm going to be working in the round, I have to slip stitch into my very first stitch. So I slip stitch into that and then I chain 1. Now I want to show us something real quickly. Let me wait for this to focus, right? So you have, in every chain you have 3 loops. You have the front loop right there, you have the back loop, and then you have another loop right here. I call that the bottom loop. So I'm going to be working into bottom loops. All right, so I chain up 3, which represents my I'll call it double crochet stitch. Yeah, so the next double crochet stitch right here, double crochet stitch into the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, 3 double crochet stitches, as in 1 into the next 3. All I'm using the bottom loops, right? The reason why I'm using the bottom loops is so that here maintains to look exactly the way that the top looks. See that? Okay, I put in my final double crochet stitch, I chain 1, right? I'm supposed to have 4 clusters on each side, so 1, 2, I skip a stitch, so 1, 1, 2, 3, chain, and skip. So this is the last 1, 2, 3. So now this is a corner, right? This is a corner. I'm going to be inserting 3 chains, and then into that same stitch I'm going to be inserting another double crochet stitch. Okay, starting the second side. So 1, 2, 3, chain, skip a stitch from under, another 1, 2, 3, chain, skip another 1. This is the third cluster. Remember, we're working 4 clusters on this side as well. 2, 3, chain, skip, and then the final cluster 1 for this side, 2, 3. We have arrived at another corner. What did we do at this other corner? We chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then the very first stitch of the third side, we're going to be inserting it into that same stitch from which the very last stitch from the previous side came out of. So you see how it is progressing. Side 1, side 2. I'm about to enter side 3. So I'm going to work side 3 and side 4 off the camera. When I get to this side, to the end of side 4, I'm going to come back and show us how to complete, to end this first row. All right. Okay, so I have but one more stitch to go, and that stitch is supposed to share a stitch as the very first stitch on this row. So I have inserted that stitch, and I'm gonna chain 3 and slip stitch into that first stitch right there. So yeah, here is our square. Okay, now from this point, what you have to do is, I'm gonna turn my work, and slip stitch into this stitch right here. So into this corner, into every corner you place this similar stitches. So that means I'm going to be working 3, 1, 2, 3. I put my 3 chains in there. I've worked the first corner, 1, 2, and 3. That is for row 2. Second corner done. Okay, so I chain 1 as usual, Then into every chain one space, I'm putting in a cluster of 3 double crochet stitches, 2 and 3. So that's what it is going to be like. So into the corners, I'm going to be putting these twin clusters, and then into every one chain space, I'm going to be putting in just this one cluster, so 3 double crochet stitches. I'm going to walk this around and then come back and show us. Okay, so I've just walked in my last 3 double crochet stitches cluster, and I'm going to slip stitch into chain 1 and then slip stitch into the very first stitch on this row. So I'm just going to talk us through what's left. So essentially, this is your typical square yoke. It keeps increasing with every additional row. We notice that with these yokes, right, you may end up having an even number of 8 stitch increase in every row, right? Because sorry, 12 stitches increase in every row. Here we started with 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16, double crochet, double crochet, 3 double crochet clusters. Here we divided an extra 4, so you don't have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20. So an extra 4 was added. That 4 times 3 stitches, that gives you 12 stitches. So you see, for every one, it keeps increasing. This is the square. When you fold it this way, you have a square. This is what we call the square yoke, because it gives you this. This is the neckline you achieve from this. All right. Now realize that while I worked with 56 stitches here, right, you're going to have to determine how many stitches was going to enable you or enable the wearer comfortably wear the dress. So if, for example, a 56 stitch dress can only go through maybe a baby's head, yeah, because this measurement has to be at least 20 so that it can pass through, unless you're going to be creating a split yoke, right? So the person can now use the bottom. But if that is not the case, just your measurement has to be at least 20, so that when the person stretches it in, it sits, it walks in and then sits nicely. Now for the rectangle is similar to this. The difference with the rectangle is that while we started out with 4, on either side of the square, for the rectangle, you may end up starting with 5 here and then 3 on this side. So 5 here, 3 here. Oh, sorry, 5 here, 3 here, instead of 4 and 4. So you have 4 and 4 like we had in the square. For the rectangle, you may have 5 and 3. You may have 6 and 2. But ensure that your corners, once you have determined your corners, every other determination gets easier, right? See, right there, that's it. Then this one starts like this. So you end up having 5 this way. Let me complete it. So let's see what we have. That's 2, 3. It can even be 4. Since I think I've drawn it too wide, so end up with 4. So 4, 3, right? And another 3 this way. And then another 4 this way, like that. So yeah, this is a rectangle, so long as they're not unequal, right? 4 here, 3 here, 5 here, 3 here, 6 here, 2 here, that's what makes it different. Now, at the end of the day, this may still form your shoulder side when you fold it, or it may form your neckline when you fold it. So you determine that what are you trying to achieve as a neckline. That is what you're going to do. Now, for the circle, I'm going to talk about these later, but for the circle, so you notice how like this is for a square, we maintained the increases in these corners. For the circle, you're going to have to switch up your increases. So I'm going to take this row off, right? I want to maintain this number of stitches and also maintain the I'm gonna take this row off. Now for the granny, using granny stitches, it will be a little bit different, but since I'm working with this, I'm going to be showing us with this one. So if we inserted our increase here at this corner, so the next row, there's not going to be an increase in that spot. I'm going to find another spot, maybe here. I'm going to put an increase here. So I close up here with just a stitch, one stitch. Then into this middle point, I now put in the increase. It will automatically give it as, it will round it up or round it off. So my increase is the 3 double crochet clusters, 3 chains, and another 3 double crochet clusters. Just stay with me on this one so that you can understand how to work your how your increase is. Like I said, a total number of about 12 stitches are added onto every row. So you choose where you want to insert your 12 stitches, or choose how you want to, share out the 12 stitches so that you obtain that round feel. And realize that you cannot put all of them. You cannot put the increase point from the previous row cannot be maintained in the next row, because you end up having a square rather than a rounded look. So let me finish this, and then I'm gonna show us. I've gotten to where the next increase should be. 1 2 3 4 5. So this is where the next increase should be. Like I said, if we had 3 double crochet clusters in the previous row, in this next row we're going to be having 5 on each side, right? So I'm turning my square essentially into a circle. All right, turning my square into a circle. If I was working a different type of stitch, I'd work it differently. But since I'm using the granny stitches and showing us essentially how to achieve this, that is why I have maintained this method. So 1 2 3, this is 4. Like I said, if you're not using granny stitches, if you're putting in a stitch, working your regular double crochet stitches, you may not need to put all of your 3 increases, or be 3 stitches into the same spot. You can disperse them so that they are evenly distributed. If you don't know how to do that, ask me in the comments, and I'll explain another. Send in another explanation for that one. Okay, so I just created another so-called corner right there, because I'm looking to round off this square. So 3 and chain, because I have like every 5, 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, so 1 2 3. This is 4. And this is 5. Just hang in there with me. In a bit, we will be there. This is where the increase works out. So okay, I'm at the end, so just then I'll slip stitch right there. Okay, so let's see what we got. See, it's turning into a circle. See that? That's what I meant. Okay, so from the square, it is no longer a square because the increases are now in a different place. So you on and on and on, it rounds it out nicely, and you have obtained a circle. All right, so this way, same thing. Your yoke is now a rounder. See that round? It's now a rounder curve, as you can see. Let me curve it. Let me keep it this way. That's it. The curve is now rounder. See? It's no longer square. See it forcing itself to get back into this round-ish curve. So that's it. Okay, the square turned into a circle. And if I go on and on and on and on, we end up having a round yoke. So that's about it. We've talked about that. you know. So what we haven't quite talked about yet is a triangular yoke and then this oval yoke right here. All right, so let's talk about the triangular yoke, right? So for this yoke, right, I said that the corners, that's where the increases happen. So if we have an increase right here with a chain, I'm still going to be using the granny stitches, chain, 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 and then the final one right here. Okay. So I'll walk this chain, 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 and then the final one. So I have 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. Now realize that what happens on this side also happens on the other side. So I'm going to be having, when I count my stitches, let me insert, put a chain right there because this chain must be, you know, recognized. So this is a set of 1 2 3 4 5 times 4. I have, that's 20. Then 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So if this side, if I can see 39 stitches on this side, right? And the other side, realize that these chains are on the top. So that on the other side, it means that I have 39 minus 2. So I have 37. So altogether, I have to chain 39 plus 37 stitches. Right, 39 plus 37, that gives me 70 70 what now, 76 stitches. So I'm going to have to work with 76. Do I want to work with 76 stitches? Nope. So I'm going to take out clusters, these last two clusters. So my work ends here. Yeah, so that this illustration can go really quickly. All right, so I have 1 2 3 4. Yeah, so 4 works for me. For this 4 sets equals 4 times 4 is 16. So I have 16 here, 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31. So now I have 31. Yeah, 31 right here. If I have 31 right here, it means I'm going to be doing minus 2, and then I have 29. So that becomes 31 plus 29. So I have a total of 60. Yeah, 60 works better. All right, so let's work with 60. Okay. So I'm going to chain 60, and then I'll meet us up here at the end of my chain. Okay, so we have our 60 stitches right here. I'm going to slip stitch into stitch number 1. All right, so I slip stitch into stitch number 1, then I chain. As usual, I'm going to be working in the back loops. So I'm going to work up this chain to represent my 3 double crochet stitches. Right, then I'm going to be continuing. So the next stitch 2 and stitch 3. Now remember that I have 4 clusters on this side. So essentially 1 2 3. After this first cluster, which is a corner, I'm going to work 3. So that means I'm going to work 1 2 3, another 1 2 3 on the other side, and then when I get to the fourth one, I'll show us. So 1 2 3, chain. So this becomes 1 2 3, chain 1, skip a stitch, I go 1 2 3. So yeah, I have the 4 on this side. Okay, so I'm going to chain 1 and then replicate this. I'm going to continue before I come. Remember that there's no corner until I have achieved 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. So let's see. Chain Let's see how we achieve that. Skip a stitch, 1, 2, 3, chain. Yeah, let me show you how that works. That's because this is this way. So I'm going to continue, and then the mirror is on this other side. The mirror is there, so I'm going to walk up until I get that. Chain. How many do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the last one. This is the last. Okay, so right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, let me add another. So the 8th one before, this is the one that creates the corner. 1, 2, and 3. Right? This is the one that creates the corner. So I put in my 3, and then into that same stitch, just like we did with the square, I put in another double crochet stitch, and then continue walking my way down. So I'm going to walk my way down off the camera. Then when I come back, I'm going to show us how to end up that side right there. So remember, your 3 double crochet stitches, a stitch in each. You skip a stitch, you chain 1, and then continue that way all the way down. Okay, so that's it right there. Okay, so I have worked my first 2 double crochet stitches. So the last one is supposed to share space with this sister right here. Oh, it's a little tight. Oops. So yeah, I'm supposed to share that spot right there. So yep, that done. Then I chain 3 and close that up. Okay, so take a look. Now yeah, it looks somewhat like this right now. Okay, so I'm gonna walk the next row. Now note the corners. Into the corners you place twin clusters, right? And then into every chain space you put in 3, just 1 cluster, meaning 3 double crochet stitches. All right, do not forget to separate the sides, because this is now 2 sides rather than 4 sides like we had in the square. We have just 2 sides. What happens here is almost essentially what also happens here, but this is a little different. I'll talk us through that when I'm done with the triangle. All right, so yeah, let me walk the next row. So into every, I'm gonna chain, turn, and slip stitch into this spot so that I can walk that corner right here. So a corner goes here, and a corner means 2 pairs of these double crochet clusters separated by 3 chains. So this done, I chain 1, then into every chain space, it's every 1 chain space, I'm only inserting 3 double crochet stitches, a chain. Then when I come back around to this corner, I'm going to be inserting these twins right here. All right, so see us here at the end of the row. Okay, so I've just done my last cluster. I'm gonna slip stitch into this stitch right here, to the very first stitch from that row, and then talk us through. So see how this looks. Place it this way. That is the look it gives you for when you're creating a triangular yoke. Why? Because it was walked, this straight line was walked, and then the corners were only inserted halfway around. See, like, yeah, corner here, everything else into it was walked into a straight line. So when you fold this, Oh wow, look at that. You obtain a perfect V-neck. So this is a style used for most ponchos. You can also use this for your V-neck dresses if you want to walk it from the top. Yeah, unlike walking it from the bottom and then having to split your neckline. Where you do not want to do the neckline splitting thing, you can go this route. This one gives you a straight up, angular. Everything here is angular, right? Everything here is angular because you started with a straight line. Now, what makes it different from, let me show you this again. So it's this way, straight line, as you can see, straight line right there. Okay, so a straight line right there. And then when you fold it, you have this triangle. Yeah, you have this right angle, right there. So for the oval, what's different about the oval is rather than having this straight line right here, it's going to start out, the curves actually start from this very first row. So this is what happens in the oval. The oval, yeah, maintains these parts as corners, just like the V. So you have that, that's how it will come out at that point right there. So same thing here, you have that there, you have that this way. Now for this sides, you're going to have a chain there. Now the next stitch is going to be like that. 3 double crochet stitches into the next stitch, chain, 3 double crochet stitches into the next stitch, chain, 3 double crochet stitches into the next stitch, chain, 3 double crochet stitches into the next stitch, chain here, 3 double crochet stitches into the next stitch, and then your final chain. Same as the other side. So you have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 on this side. You're going to have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 on the other side. So essentially the number of stitches you're going to need are, let me complete the, so you chain here, 3 double crochet stitches, chain, 3 double crochet stitches, chain, 3 double crochet stitches, chain, 3 double crochet stitches, chain. How many is that? 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4. So there's one more, chain, 3 double crochet stitches, and then chain. So I have one, this is a 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32. So for this, your stitches are gonna, because of the constellation of your stitches, they're not gonna look exactly, it's not going to look exactly like this one that comes from that is going to be creating a triangle. All right, so there's going to be a lot more curve inside here. Okay, let me show us that real quickly. So I'm just going to chain 32 and come back up to show us how it works. Okay, so I have 32 stitches right here. It is quite small. Realize that for a regular work, you're going to have to chain as many chains that can go around the person's head, meaning that individual is going to have to be able to wear whatever it is you're creating. So you're going to definitely need more than 32 stitches unless you're making it for a doll. Okay, so with my 32 stitches, I'm just going to slip stitch right here and then chain up, right? Because I want to create that corner there immediately. So as usual, I'm working in my bottom loops. Remember the 3 loops of a chain. You have the front loop, you have the back loop, and then you have the bottom loop. That's what I call it. Not sure how if you have a different name, you can always share with me, but that is how I differentiate it. Everybody calls the front loop the front loop. Then you have the back loop. Then I call this part the bottom loop. All right. So I chain 1. I skip 1. Now into my next chain is where I'm going to be inserting 3 double crochet stitches. So that's the difference. Unlike in the regular yokes where I put a stitch into for the sides, 1 stitch goes into 1 stitch. Yeah, for this one, I'm going to be putting the 3 stitches into 1 stitch, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, 3 double crochet stitches into the next stitch, 1 2 and 3, chain one, skip one stitch. Yep. Three double crochet stitches into the next stitch. Yeah. Chain one, skip one stitch. Three double crochet stitches into the next. Chain one, skip one. Three double crochet stitches into the next. I don't know if I'm there yet, if I'm where I'm headed yet. 1 2 3 4 5. There's a 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. So like that. You can make yours a little less round by making your double crochet stitches maybe just 2. Yep. So put in this one right here, chain one. Do I have I'm going for 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yeah, this is 7th one. So this is where I have the corner. So I'm going to insert another. Okay, no, that doesn't work that way. So if I am here, it means that after this 6th one, so 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6. This next one right here is going to be taking a proper corner look. So I'm going to put a stitch into, so one stitch each, right? Then I chain 3. The first stitch shares this stitch right here. Then I put in the next 3, 2 and 3. Then chain 1 and continue this saga right here. Okay, so skip a stitch, 3 double crochet stitches into the next stitch, skip a stitch, chain 1, 3 double crochet stitches into the next stitch, 2 and 3, chain 1, skip 1, 3 double crochet stitches into the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, 3 double crochet stitches into the next stitch. I think I've arrived on my last. Oh yeah, so this one right here, because I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. I'm supposed to have 1 2 3 4 5 6 here, so this is the 7th. I'm gonna skip that one stitch right there, put in my one stitch here, second stitch right there on its own, and then the third stitch is supposed to share space with this first sister right here. So yep, then I chain my 3 and slip stitch, row 1, done. So yeah, that's it. Now we have the oval. All right, the increases here, just like we have for the triangular yoke, right? The right angle yoke. But rather than having a straight line here, like we did for the triangular yoke, we had a proper curve. That's how the oval yoke turns out when you work it. Okay, so I'm going to work the second row so that you can see it a little bit more clearly. So as usual, I'm just going to chain, turn around, and enter the spot right here. Okay, so I'm going to create a corner here. My corner consists of 2 sets of these 3 double crochet stitches separated by 3 chains. Then just like we did for the triangular yoke on the sides, because we have just 2 sides for the triangle and the oval, just 2 sides, I'm going to be putting in 3 double crochet stitches into the chain 1 spaces, separating them with 1 chain as well. So that's what I'm going to have. Then at the corner, we know what to do, a cluster. All right, so I'll do that and then come show us here at the end. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row and I'm gonna just slip stitch right here to finish. So let's talk. So yeah, see that right there? We have a proper curve, right, for our oval neckline. So that's it. See? Oval. Our oval neckline. So yeah, oval yoke. So when I fold this, ooh, this is what we have. So you have a sweetheart type of neckline at the end of the day. Yeah, so while it looks V-ish in here, you have the curve around the shoulders so as it curves outward, right? And then you have this swelling here, so it also makes for a quicker increase towards the bust area. So that's it essentially. So yeah, so this for the oval. This for the oval. All right, and when folded, this is what you got. Let me place it properly. So this is it. This is what you have. See how it is a lot curvier than when it was just the V. So that's about it on Yokes. If you're new to our channel, please go and subscribe. On a weekly basis, we bring you brand new videos, inspiring you on all of the possibilities of crochet. We demystify what one celebrity or another wore. We walk you through how we made one of ours. We teach you stuff, right? Tips, tricks, and everything. We talk patterns, we draw, we illustrate, we show you how to achieve everything you want to achieve. So you make your crochet general life really, really easy. You can find our galleries on Instagram for wedding day apparel. You find those on Makisode Weddings at Makisode Weddings, and then for our everyday corporate and casuals and accessories, you find those at Makisode Models. Please do well to follow us, do well to like, leave a nice comment, and share our content. Do share our content. Do you have questions? Really, do you have questions? Please ask us in the comment section. Is there any part of this what we just illustrated here that wasn't clear? Ask us in the comment section. Is there anything you'd like us to do for you? Do let us know. If you want us to work maybe something, send us a garment or one of ours you want us to work for you because you do not have the time. We will do so for a token. Do you also want a pattern to anything we have ever created here? We would send to you for a little token. All right, so thank you so much for watching our video. Stay tuned for so much more.